Welcome back to Work On It Wednesday. Your host right here, Mike Callahan, with my co-host, Dillan Ruthenberg of the SimpleGrowth team. We're going to be talking about creating a production rate-based estimating system. That seems to be the holy grail of the service industry. So whether you're owner-operator or got a large-scale business, traditionally what we find is the estimating skill set is usually somewhere in the owner's head, which is usually a scary place with all the other things going on. So whether it's in the middle of the heavy bidding season or going into mid-season, everybody right now is talking about how do we create a standardized estimating system that has no emotion, that can be delegated. So I don't know about you, Dylan, but in my seven-figure business journey, the biggest issue in my business is me being the bottleneck to be able to delegate was going out and creating a system that I could literally hand off to somebody and have the estimates within a dollar or two be almost identical to my estimates with 25 years experience in my head. So what we're going to do is dive in and actually create a process or show you the process that we use to build out production rate-based estimating. And traditionally, the biggest thing that we see when people work with SimpleGrowth to build out their estimating systems, and probably the same when I did it myself, to be honest with you, is I didn't necessarily trust the industry averages 100%. I didn't necessarily trust the averages that I had in my computer system quite yet. But I knew I wanted to get to that production rate. But how did I go from what was in my head and then kind of ease into that? And then some of the services I felt comfortable, I could jump right in. So we're going to dive in and actually show you how to take a time-based approach from what's in your head and then be able to basically step up into 100% production rate-based estimating. But the cool thing is once you have the time-based system, you may have a property that just doesn't fit a production rate. So actually, it's not a waste of time by any means. So it's a great process. We're going to show you how to step into it to be comfortable for success. And in addition, be able to have a production rate-based system in your software that you can use if you pull up to a property and it doesn't fit that industry production. So Dylan, any comments or questions or thoughts before we really dive in and really unearth what the process of creating a production rate-based estimating system looks like and how really easy it can be?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a task when you're first starting to do it, but very similar to kind of what you said. When I built out this system, at least for my company, a Maximum Lawn Care, hired a sales guy and was able to pass off probably about 90% of the sales tasks to him, where he was able to quote things, go visit the customers. Of course, that's sometimes a big time sink, but actually get these quotes measured and sent out. I obviously reviewed some of the larger ones and a ton of the estimates that he was sending out originally at the beginning when he first started, but eventually he trusted the system. He was winning the quotes. We were making money on these jobs. So he was able to just basically take what was taking about 75% of my day and weeks off my plate with kind of one fell swoop. So very, very important task to dive out in your company.
Perfect. Here, it looked like we had a little timer here. I was going to use that, but I don't think that's going to actually work what I wanted to do. But where I'm going with the timer is I've got a hard stop in about 35 or 40 minutes. So what I'm going to suggest, completely, I don't want to say unprepared, but unprepared for this Facebook Live, Dylan and I are going to show you how you can actually do this in about 35 to 40 minutes for a couple services and have a stem to stern system. So you up for a challenge, brother? Kind of unscripted, but let's see what happens, right?
I'm sure we can bang it out in 30 minutes. Let's do it.
I think we can do it. We'll see. If you're watching live or recorded, will the kids make it happen? All right. First thing we got is on the screen here below me or the other side of Dylan is the SimpleGrowth Estimate Blueprint. We're going to start out with the blueprint. We are going to actually blueprint it out, and then we are actually going to go out and build it out. So let's see what happens here. Dylan, how you feeling about lawn mowing? Good idea? We'll go with it?
Yeah, we'll start with that for sure.
All right, so the service is going to be lawn mowing. We're going to look at a job variable, custom field. This is what we're going to track. We're going to go turf square footage, mow, blow, and stick edge. That's the area that we're servicing. So I'm going to go in and create turf square footage. And I'm also going to go in, and if I don't know a production rate, how do I base what's in my head? So I'm going to go in and do lawn mowing and minutes. Complete with a typo here. Oh, we are definitely disadvantaged with my typing skills today. So we'll see what really goes on here. This is going to be an interesting one. All right, so we've got turf square footage, and I got lawn mowing man minutes. So Dylan, I'm gonna pretend you are somebody that I'm talking to how to build this out. So Dylan, what is the dollar per hour. How much revenue do you want to generate per man hour here?
So a couple years back, we were looking to bring in at least $50 per man hour.
All right, perfect. Second question. Most people don't have this number, but I know you probably do. You can give me a number that's in the ballpark at least. Do you know what it costs you per hour to operate before you make a profit? So break even, that includes our rent, our overhead, salaries, equipment, repairs, everything that it costs you per hour on average. So if you took that number, subtracted it from $50 an hour, what would be left as a profit on the end?
Yeah, so our break even was in and around $36 per man hour.
All right, perfect. So let's make it interesting. We'll call it $36.50. All right, and based on church square footage or minutes in your head, what would be the maximum amount of, or actually, what is the minimum amount you would charge to show up to cut a lawn? So I'm assuming there's got to be a minimum for you to take that mower off that truck.
Yep. Yeah, there was definitely a minimum. Our minimum was $35. That was the lowest we were going, even if it was a little postage stamp lawn.
Perfect. So you got to see what happens here now. Based on your $35 is your minimum to show up and your $50 an hour goal, I can tell you that 0.7 man hours for one person is the maximum amount of time you can take. So you might be wondering, well, what is 0.7 hours? Well, it's actually 42 minutes. So if you had a two-man crew, that 42 would be divided by 2. So what we've set is a minimum threshold to show up, a maximum amount of time, a budgeted time that we can take, and a projected profit of about 27%. And next question is, based on your experience, let's say you're using a 60-inch mower. We don't have to have exact numbers here, but what would be the maximum area to mow, blow, and stick edge for that $35? Is it 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet? What would that be if we were diving and building this out live here?
Yeah, so for that minimum rate, it wasn't much square feet that we would actually cover for that. It was literally about 3,000 at the most.
Okay, perfect.
Probably weren't using a 60-inch on that size lawn, but you get the point.
Yeah, we're just diving through, and we'll see if we can build this live. So I'm going to say every 1,000 square feet over my first 3,000 square feet as my base price here is, and let's just say you're unsure of what it would take for the extra 1,000, but you know you can definitely get 3,000 conservatively done. So I'm going to say let's do a little math here, Dylan, and take that 0.7 and divide that by 3 parts of 1,000. So it would actually be the maximum amount of time on average if you didn't get more efficient. So if you're just focusing on those small lawns and maybe a commercial push mower, it'd be 0.23 man hours. So the reason why I want to plug that in there is that based on that times your $50 an hour, you would have to be charging $11.60 per 1,000 square feet to mow, blow, and edge. Now we could back that down, and I'm guessing on an industry average here, you're probably going to be closer to maybe 0.14 because most of the mow, blow, and edge, if it's just a small property, is already taken care of in that first 3,000 square feet. So we've got.
That's exactly what I was going to say. We did get quite a bit more efficient after that base. You know, that base covers a lot of like the unloading and stuff like that. So
absolutely. So what I'm going to do is that. So that would be our production rate based estimating based on square foot. But you may like, Mike, I don't trust that. I'm not exactly 100% positive, but it's a good starting point. Let's build out one for time based. So we're still going to have the same base $35 a cut. But what's going to happen here is I'm going to take the 0.7 man hours and actually see how many minutes. And once again, that was 42 minutes. So when you're using your mobile phone, you plug that number in to the on-site estimate form. If it's between 1 and 42 minutes, it's still going to be $35 base price. Then I'm going to say every 1 minute over 42 minutes is, and if we use the math of 1 minute divided by 60, that's part of an hour, 0.02. Well, that math has already happened. So it's 83 cents a minute, which makes sense because if you were charging $60 an hour, it would be $1 a minute. So for every 83 you're charging, it's going to cost you 60.83. So now we're going to have the ability to build out a production rate based estimating system based on square footage or minutes. And now we're going to show you how to compare those inside the software. So I think we got time to build out maybe 1 or 2 more services. How do you feel about mulch, Dylan? You want to roll with mulch? That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Okay, so we're going to do mulch installation. Reason why I picked mulch installation is I'm going to do it as a bed square footage, but I want to talk about how do we tackle product pricing in it. How do we cover the cost of markup of the product and build that all in? So I'm going to do this as bed square footage. Traditionally, we'll break this down in 1, 2, and 3 inch increments, and we would plug in the square footage based on that process here. So we could do mulch installation at 1 inch, And I'm going to keep your 50 and your 3650 as my numbers. And now this can be done is the cost per cubic yard, basically per yard, or you could be cost per bag. And on average, you find about 13.5 2 cubic foot bags would equal a yard of mulch. So we're going to just go on the high side for an actual yard of mulch, bulk mulch. It would come out of a dump truck. So I'm going to say in my market, it's going to be running about $38 ballpark for like a double ground premium hardwood dyed mulch. So first thing I'm going to ask you once again, Dylan, is there a minimum? Is it a 1 yard, 2 yard, 3 yard minimum, or are you just going to go out for 1 yard of mulch?
Yeah, so I don't know what it is about Canada, but mulch prices here were significantly higher than everything I've seen in the States. So we did have a 1 yard kind of minimum that we would go out for.
Okay, so we're going to say between 1 and 300 square feet is going to be 1 yard at 1 inch. And let's say we're going to charge $120 a yard per yard installed labor and materials and markup. Okay. So what I'm going to do is go in and say, you know what? On average, my guys and girls out there, we're knocking out a per yard mulch bulk at 1 hour. So I'm going to use that average. I know that in my head. That's conservative. If we're not hitting that, we got issues. And if we're blowing it in, obviously it's going to be a more productive rate. Bagged mulch is probably going to be closer to about 45 to 50 minutes per yard with cleanup. So we've got that in there. And what we've done is I'm going to come in and customize our formula and add that mulch in there. So now labor and materials, it's costing me $74.56 to install and charge for the product. And I've got about a 37.87% profit margin, which is interesting because when we drive back up, our other ones are consistent at 27. So we start to see that benchmark of our profit percentage projection if all things go right. Then I'm just going to say, hey, every 300 square feet over the first 300, so that's another yard of mulch at 1 inch, is that 120, 1 hour, and boom, we've got it. So now every 300 square feet equals a yard of mulch. So we're going to go in and now build this processes here, and we've still got about 35 minutes here. So I think we might be able to knock this out pretty quick here. So I'm going to go in and grab 2 inches of mulch, and people will probably look at this and go, well, Mike, why are we only changing the square foot area? Well, the area, as it shrinks, is still covering a mulch because we're covering a higher depth. But on average, it's still going to take just as long to carry and set up that product material. So what we're doing is just shortening the area because the depth of the mulch is going higher. All the other variables are going to be the same. I don't think we've ever timed this, Dylan. This is interesting here. We're going to see if the kids can get this done in time.
Yeah, I think this might be a new record.
It's I don't know. I'm gonna go stem to stern with this one. I think I'm actually going to build it out inside Service Autopilot with custom field variables, and if time permits, I might even make an on-site estimate for him to show you how you get that out of your head and in the system.
Oh Lord!
So, oh yeah, the pressure's on, brother. We got to get the time clock going here. We got to figure out how to do that next week. I think if this works and it's not a complete disaster, we might have to do this. So we've got lawn mowing based on square footage and man minutes. I've got mulch installation 1, 2, and 3 inches. And give me one more service, Dylan, and then we're going to build this out and create a whole workflow from stem to stern.
Another popular one for us was aeration.
Aeration, all right. Why don't let's go with aeration. I don't mind that one. Let's
Or if you want to flip over to winter, we could do some snow blowing, whatever you prefer.
Oh, brother, it's like 85 degrees out. We can't do snow blowing right now. Actually, it's about time to start those bids, though, isn't it?
Yep.
It is. All right, so we got aeration square footage. You know what? Yeah, this is completely unscripted. I'm okay with this. Let's do a little snow plowing, okay? And let's mix it up. So we're going to make it probably the most difficult way of snow plowing you can do it. We're going to do per push per inch. Yeah? What do you think?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pulling up my previous company here and I'm trying to see exactly what I was charging.
All right.
We can do that.
We can roll with it. The kid did a couple of these snow magazines and lawn and landscape magazines on snow and ice removal, so I think we can handle it. All right. So we're going to go from, let's say from 0 inches to 2 inches, full transparency. We never had this type of plowing in our market because it's the third largest snowfall market in the United States. So it was not exactly feasible to do it this way. But this is very common in a lot of areas in the country. So let's go in. Let's say maybe our base price is 10,000 square foot. That's the largest area we'll plow. And I don't know. We'll put.
Well, you want some concrete numbers here?
Yeah, if you want to give them to me, let's roll them.
Okay, so our minimum, we did some small lots, was actually $50 per visit.
Okay.
And that covered up to a 5,000 square foot lot.
This is a tractor-driven PTO snowblower in the back of a tractor, right?
So this actually flipped over to the commercial snow plowing.
Okay, sweet. Okay. In my market, we're about $150 per machine. Where were you guys at, ballpark?
Well, for this specific thing, we were only allocating 0.15 of a man hour.
Yep, so I'm just talking your dollar per hour revenue.
Yeah, we were in and around there.
Okay.
We're probably actually a little bit closer to 200 for the commercial.
Okay, let's throw that in there. Let's say it was costing 85. And how many man hours did you say for the first 5,000 or machine hours?
0.15. So they were in and out of there pretty quick.
For sure. And let's keep this one somewhat simple. Every 1,000 over the first 5,000. What do we charge them per 1,000? Or how long?
So we were about $5 extra per 2,000.
Okay. So let's make it $2.50 per 1,000. We'll keep it simple here. All right. So oh, look what happened. I'm throwing some fictitious numbers in here, but this is why this is actually good to see, and so we can refine it. It's every 1,000 square feet. If we charge $250, it's still costing us $2.55 at 85. So let's take a look at that and let's say, okay, based on that, let's say it's a minute per 1,000, which I'm guessing it's actually a little more efficient. Now we're charging $250 and it's 0.85. Paul says, here in Texas, the lawns are knee high. How are we supposed to charge those lawns? So, Paul, pay attention to the hourly price rate here on the top when we build this out, the lawn mowing man minutes, and then we will show you exactly how you do that. The only thing knee high right now in New York is the corn. So this is interesting. So we'll see where we're going. So got 0 to 2, and then I'm going to basically copy and paste this and just go out let's say 3 different increments here, and the rest would be hourly. So I'm going to say snow from 2.1 to 4 inches. And let's just say ballpark now, our efficiency has gone down. So in 0.15 man hours, I can only plow 3,500 square feet. And it's going to cover every 750 after that. I'm not doing the math on the correct math, but you get the idea. The area we cover is shrinked the same amount of time. So obviously we're building this out 100%. We would be cranking some math on industry averages or our numbers out of the software. But for the actual setup, I definitely don't have time in the next 30 minutes to do that math and get this out the door. But we'll see what happens here. So I'm going to go in and build this out from 4.1 to, let's just say, 6 inches, and obviously we'd probably go 6.1 to 8, and anything over 8 inches would be an hourly rate. So 4.6, and now this is going to go down to 2,700 square feet, and this is maybe every 500 square feet. And then I'm going to say 6.1 plus inches.
Yeah, I'll leave this part up to you for sure. We were kind of all in here. Didn't matter how much it snowed.
Same exact thing in New York, brother. But every market's different. So I'm going to show something that's in the Midwest and some of the lower snow markets. This is pretty common. So yeah, it didn't matter if we had 1 inch or we had 10 inches. We were all in. All right, perfect. So we got them in here, and I'm going to make a note here. This is just going to be 150 an hour, 3 hour minimum. Perfect. All right. You ready to start building this thing out?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so software we're going to go into is Service Autopilot. First thing we need to do is create the custom fields. Those are the job variables that we're tracking. And remind me to clean up this test account when we're done, Dylan, at some point, so we can keep these custom fields to a bare minimal. I'm gonna put 00 in front of these just so we can find them quickly, because this test account is starting to grow a massive amount of custom fields once again. So I'm going to take this from our blueprint and drive it in here. Custom field is now going to be associated to the customer, not the property and number. And we're going to drive these in. And if I happen to forget to put the 00 numbers in here, Dylan, give me a virtual slap on the wrist so I don't miss them here.
I'll try my best. My eyes aren't the greatest, but I can still make out the little screen.
All right, so now we are on to our mulch. So 1-inch bed square footage number.
And if anybody's wondering like why he's putting number and associating it to a customer, obviously the data that we're going to be putting and storing in these fields is going to be a number. But then these aren't system-wide fields. These fields live on every customer's file within the system. So Mrs. Jones and Fred down the street are going to have different numbers in their file based on how much mulch they want, or how large or small their lawn is. So it's very customer specific.
Sweet, glad you clarified that. So what I've done is I've created those custom fields or job variables for turf square footage, number of man minutes. So this is going to tackle pay use question, and we've done mulch square footage based on 1, 2, and 3 inch depth, and we also did our snow plowing square footage area. Now that's going to be just generally for how big is that parking lot, and I'm going to hit save. So the next thing we want to do, time-wise isn't going to allow us, but we would be building out in the background 3 separate documents. So an estimate email that sends the estimate or bid to the client, an estimate document where prices are in there, hopefully some hold harmless clauses for slip and fall if you have snow and ice removal, and then an estimate acceptance email that automatically comes out when you send that estimate. So you obviously need to have that built out. If I have time, but who knows? We've got a few minutes here. We're going to be under the deadline here, though. So the next thing is we're going to actually go out and create these services. So we're creating that custom. We've created the SimpleGrowth blueprint. We blueprinted before we create it. We've created our custom fields. Now we're going to go into services. And those 00s in front of the custom fields and services I'm putting here just so I can find it a little bit quicker, because there's 130 services almost in this thing. So we're going to need to know how to find it quickly, since we are under the timer. We should have talked about this before we actually got into this, Dylan. What did we get into? All right. So I've got my lawn mowing square footage, but I'm actually going to start out with a parent service of lawn mowing. And for time, I'm just going to cut this down here. And some things I'm going to need is a code, a service mode, invoice description associated to an income account, especially if you're using QuickBooks, and an estimate description. And I'm going to do this one for weekly lawn mowing. Includes mowing, trimming, and blowing off of the hard surfaces. Really getting into this one. Now we're actually putting estimate descriptions too. I'm going to see if we actually make the time here. I think we got it though. All right, perfect. And I'm going to hit save and new. Now we're going to dial into our next service, which is lawn mowing turf square footage. So this is our production rate based system here. And I'm going to go in and just pop this down, use estimates only. And now I'm going to go in and grab my custom field, which was my 00 turf square footage. And from 1 to, let's see what Dylan said here. 1 to 3,000 square feet was $35. 0.7 man hours and $25.55 before profit. Then every 1,000 square feet over my first 1,000 square feet, which was my base price, is now $7 and 0.14 man hours.
And this last line here that you're filling out, I feel like confuses a lot of people. I've had a ton of confusion on calls that I do where they don't really understand what that last line that you just filled out actually accounts for.
Yeah, definitely. While I'm plugging this in, why don't you demystify what that line is? And you might also want to talk about how we can open up new price breaks per acreage as well.
Yeah. So what Mike's doing in the rate matrix column there is he's associating first the custom fields that we made to the specific service. So what variable do we need the data point for in order to be able to calculate the price for this service? So for the lawn mowing based off of square footage, well, we need to have measured the lawn to do that. So that's great for lawns where, ideally you can actually see it from the satellite image, and maybe you actually don't even need to go out there. So the first line item is what's going to cover essentially your base price. So that 1 to roughly, I think 3,000 square feet is what we said for that $35.
Yep.
The last line item is actually what's going to cover you to infinity. So you want this pricing model to work whether we're measuring out a 3,000 square foot property or a 3-acre property. Right? You don't want the pricing model to break after a certain point. So that line item really covers you to infinity by saying for an extra amount of square footage on top of the base price that we're charging, what are we charging for each additional increment of square feet?
Perfect. I think you nailed it, brother. And we are on the mulch installation. We are officially into service number 2 right now. And we're building out our parent service. And then we're going to break out 3 additional services below that, how to actually do the mulch depth. And
while you're doing that, I'll kind of explain the parent service relationship between the original service you're building here and then these sub-services, because the parent service is essentially what the customer is actually going to see. So when you submit the estimate or when you schedule the job, we don't want those 20 different variations, or in this scenario, 3 variations of mulch kind of clogging up the system potentially. We just want to know mulch installation. That's all the customer needs to see. You're going to apply based on your expertise how much mulch it actually needs. These sub-services are used to essentially calculate based on which depth you're actually doing, and they're very valuable to arrive at an end price. But you don't necessarily want the customer to have to see all these things, such as if we're quoting the lawn mowing by lawn mowing man minutes, or we've actually measured the property. That's just kind of noise. The customer just needs to see what you're actually charging them. So that's kind of the difference between the parent service, which is what's going to be shown to the customer and actually get scheduled, and the sub-services, which you can use as variables to help calculate the end price that the customer is going to see.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And we are on to 2 inches of mulch right now, live here, building it out in probably about 35 minutes total, how to actually knock this out. So Dylan, on the clock, we've got about 15 to 20 minutes left. I've got a call at the top of the hour. So we're getting down to crunch time here. So we'll see what happens here. And I'm literally just transferring over from the SimpleGrowth blueprint here. If you're wondering where I'm pulling these numbers out of, right here, $120, 1 hour to put it in. Labor, materials, and overhead, $74.56, and that's what we've got going in here. And I know for every yard over that first 200 square feet at 2-inch depth now, it's an additional hour and $74.56. All right, now we're getting into our 3-inch mulch, and look at that. It's the same thing, Dylan. It's just that square footage has shrunk. So here we go. I don't think this has ever been done live.
Yeah, this is great stuff. I'm sure a lot of people watching have at least a couple services that they don't have this built out for, and it's relying on the owner or someone with a ton of experience to get the price for these services, which could be a pretty big bottleneck if you're trying to get out 10 or 20 quotes a day or a week.
$74.56. All right, I think we may even have time to build that on-site estimate form, Dylan. I think this is this may be doable. We're coming close here, but I think we're going to be able to do it. Oh, wait a minute. We threw the wrench in there. We had snow plowing too. Whew, this will be interesting. All right. Let's try our snow plowing from 1 to 2 inches. And we've got about 19 minutes left on the clock here, brother. Cut it close. Cut it close. You're watching us live right now. We are building out more than a few services live.
Simple pricing structures, but you don't need to have a big complicated pricing matrix unless, like you mentioned earlier, there is some price breaks. So, over an acre of parking lot or turf square feet, you significantly reduce the rate, which does tend to pop up. You typically can't have a linear pricing model, or else you're going to lose every massive lawn care bid that you send out where you're trying to price a 3-acre lawn the same way you're trying to price a 3,000 square foot lawn.
I'm just transferring these over here from the SimpleGrowth blueprint, but we're building a price per push per inch contract, which is probably one of the most confusing things that people try to build out. So I know we might have bit off a little more than we could chew here, but we'll see. I think we might got it. All right. Whew, glad I'm rested for this one here, brother. We just dove into this one head first. All right, what do you think? We keep this up on a weekly basis here and work on it Wednesday? We put a timer and see if the kids can get it done before the timer runs out.
I like the time crunch idea.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. A little pressure midweek. I think we could do it. All right. So these per push per inch are going to be a little bit trickier here. So, all right. And it's going to be based on parking lot square footage. Every 1, 2, what is our second increment to 3,500 square feet? Is $50, 0.15. And what was that costing us before profit here? $12.75. And every 1,000. Oh, actually, it is not every 1,000. Let's see here. We had every 1,000. It dropped down. So now that the snow is deeper, it is taking more time. So instead of 1,000 square feet, we are only being able to cover 750. So our production has actually gone down. And we are charging $2.50. And it's taking us 1 minute. So obviously you need to check your production rates, especially on the snow stuff here. This is not 100% accurate by any means, but we did want to give you some examples you can run with. So definitely check your production rates, something you definitely do not want to run with in these numbers here for plowing. Because they are definitely not 100% accurate.
Yeah, not financial advice here by any means.
But this is how you build it out, and obviously, if you end up working with SimpleGrowth, we can help you get those exact numbers. That's not a tough thing. We do this every day, all day. So,
and if you are wondering where these numbers are coming from, like obviously these are fictitious, but if you're like, this sounds great, I want to do this for my own services. Maybe you don't have access to the industry averages like we do. It's actually not incredibly complicated. You can really simplify it and just look at a recent service that you've done that you think is priced fairly and do a little mini time study on that property, whether it's snow plowing or lawn mowing, whatever that is, and just see like how long is it actually taking and what is the size of this property. And usually with those two variables, you can start to build out some type of pricing model here.
$1.85. All right, so one more to go. What is our hourly rate? We need to put our hourly rate in of snow plowing 6+ inches. All right, so I'm going to put this in here and Dylan, it just dawned on me, brother. You didn't we're under the gun here, and you didn't warn me that these actually, if I've been marking these snow ones off as what do you call it? As estimate only. We can't use them in estimate only for push per inch. So this might be our own demise here, brother. We got to see. I got to go back and update those real quick. All right, let's see what we got here. We have too many services in our test account. There it is here. So we've got our 0 to 2. Let's just make sure. Oh, you know what? I did do it okay. Okay, I think we're good. Let's double check here. Make sure before we go in and start building this out. Oh, I'm talking and implementing here. Oh, 4 to 6 would have been the killer. All right.
And if these are services that you're ever planning on actually like dispatching and scheduling, just make sure that you do click off the add to snow dispatch.
Correct. Yes. Good call. All right. So we've built all our services out. We've got lawn mowing based on time, lawn mowing based on square footage. I got mulch at 1, 2, 3-inch depth with product markup and process. And we've tackled the beast of all beasts, snow plowing per push per inch. So we've kind of thrown the anomaly in here, Dylan. So snow plowing per push per inch is going to add actually an extra step. So we need to go into master packages and build out a package. All right, so we are going to call this our 00 snow plow per push per inch. Showing off my typing skills today too. This is impressive. All right, renewal date. I'm going to make this January of 2022, and I'm going to scroll back up here and grab my services. For time's sake, I'm just copying and pasting because giving ourselves, about 35, 40 minutes to knock this out. 12 minutes on the clock left.
12 minutes to go.
Absolute drop dead time. This is going to be a quick or a tough one here. Let's see what happens. I think this master package might have been the service that killed us. I think I got a little too aggressive, but I think we might have it still.
Yeah, I mean, I'm budgeting like 5 minutes for the on-site estimate form, 5 minutes to quickly measure and pull up a quote, and I mean, we should be pretty close.
All right.
So unlike a fertilization package, these dates aren't quite as important because this is more so like how to display these services in an estimate. This isn't actually how you're going to be scheduling it in Service Autopilot.
We're working the system in a way it wasn't meant to be worked, but it works pretty damn well to display this. All right, so save the changes. We are good. We got our package.
What's it saying?
It's treatment end date is prior to the start date. Which one do we have? End date is prior 30/31, 2021, 21. Is it not? What are we missing here, kids?
Can you make the screen share screen a little bit bigger?
I can probably do that for you. Look at that. Active 623 to 2, 6/1/21/31. Are you seeing it, Dylan? End date is prior to the start date.
I wish I could see it a little better. It's still a little small in the corner of my screen.
Let me.
Our mug shots here are taking up the majority of my screen, anyways.
Well, good-looking kids. Got to put them up there sometimes. All right, let's see if I can get this bad boy to save. Treatment end date is prior to the start date. Well, it's not like one of these dates here. Let's back this in here.
I can't really see, but is there any overlapping dates?
I got 6/23/2021 to 6/01 to 2023.
6/23 to 6/01. Is that what you said?
Uh-huh. But I've got a 2-year gap.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, if it's a 2-year gap, then we should be good.
It's not liking this one. All right. Well, let's.
Hey, we might need to save the snow till at least November.
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to see why this isn't saving here. I must be missing something. Not liking.
Wish I could see a little better.
Yeah. Hold on. I think I figured it out. Stumped. We'll come back to that one. We still have 9 minutes. Let's log back in here. We've created our services. We need to create a job estimate template. So we go our gear icon.
I'll see if I can find the error in that one. And that's in the main SimpleGrowth account?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
And I didn't think about that. I could have tapped on you to give me a hand here, huh?
I was playing dumb for a bit.
I see. All right, so our job estimate template is going to be the pre-built template that loads each and every time we use the estimate. And we're going to do both. We're going to add an item, and we're going to do our 0 lawn mowing. And I'm going to add in my per minute, and I'm going to add in my square footage. So I'm going to go in and do lawn mowing church square footage, and I'm going to add another one in here, lawn mowing with the minutes. And then we're going to go in and add our mulch. And I'm adding these as sub-services. So these are our invisible estimate checklist for our clients. So I did miss a couple of those services, Dylan, with the zeros in front of me. So you failed me, brother. You failed me. I think we got it though. Did you figure out that that package on the flip side?
I am just building it out here. I'm throwing in the dates, and then I'm going to test it, and hopefully all right, we'll be good there.
Tag team, and we still got 7 minutes. I got plenty of time here. All right, you're working on the per push per inch?
You got it.
All right, brother. I'm going to go in then and save and close this. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to open up another tab, and I'm going to go right back in Service Auto. I'm going to create an on-site estimate form. Let's push the envelope. We've got 6 minutes, right?
Plenty of time.
Let's plenty of time. Let's get crazy here. All right, so we're going to add a form right here.
Hey, and that package saved. It might not be pretty, but it's there.
All right, let's go in packages. And what you call it? Snow plowing.
I call it snow plowing.
Very original.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Nice. All right, we're good. All right, so we have crossed the line with some help from Dylan there. So we're going to save and close that. We have 6 minutes. This may be a stretch, but I'm going to at least show the methodology of the on-site estimate form and bring it home. Oh.
This might almost need a part 2.
Yeah, I think it's gonna, but I think the time is on our side here. I don't know, man. The timer on the screen might have been a little too much. The pressure is on. I'm sweating over here if you can't tell. So we're going to take this and map out the first name, last name, address. This can be done in V2. We recommend V2 over V3 right now because it's going to give you a little more functionality with the mobiles.
Yeah, and if you're wondering, like, what is the best way to use this, V2 or V3, it really depends on which app you're using. This form that we're building out in V2, you can't really pull it up in V3 and vice versa. So if you're using the V2 mobile app, definitely make the form in V2 as well.
So lawn mowing minutes, I'm going to map this back to a custom field and lawn mowing man minutes, and add another one for turf square footage for mowing. We're at a severe disadvantage based on my typing skills here, but I think we still got 4 more minutes. We're pretty close. And this is going to be all right. How are we looking time-wise? We there?
We got 3 minutes to go.
Make it 3.5. I think we could do it.
We got the mulch, and then after that, we're looking at what snow plowing square footage, and then
yeah. One more. Three more minutes. I think we got it.
Yeah.
I can't believe we just threw this all together in literally 35, 40 minutes. Yeah, we're at 45 minutes exactly. So about 40 minutes after us talking and doing the thing here. So approve, create on submit, update lead, and we want to show on mobile. And I think we're good. Save and close. Only thing that we need to do is... We already corrected that on the template. Facebook Live, work on it Wednesdays with Dylan and Mike. We need to select an estimate document. So maybe hopefully we've got an estimate document. We can plug this in and actually show what this looks like.
I think if you search
that one.
Okay.
No guarantees, folks, but we got it. All right. So what we're doing is we're going in. We're adding a lead, calling in for an estimate live over the phone. So we're done. We're built, but we're gonna knock this out. We've got our good old friend Tester. We've got him in. Details. He is going to be a residential account, and under sales, how did he hear about us? Well, he heard about us from the door hanger. We're going to save him, get him in there. He is not a duplicate, but we got some duplicate checking. 2 minutes on the clock still, my man. One more. Going to property measurements. Maybe. God, we got the screen share lag. This is nail biter right now.
You got to be patient, even though there's only 1 minute left. You can't rush this.
All right, we're good. All right, I think we're good. We've done it. Now we're actually doing the estimate included with this in the same amount of time. This is insanity. Whew. I don't know if my hairline can take this next week. All right, we're going satellite. We're zooming in. We're doing our turf square footage for mowing.
And this does not need to be 100% exact. If you're off by a couple, even like 100 or 200 square feet, all of our pricing was in ranges. So it doesn't need to be perfect right down to the last, inch.
We're saving our... we're going to plow the driveway away here, and we're going to drive that in, and that is going to be our parking lot square footage. Save. All right, top of the hour. I'm going to go in. Usually we go to the A for auto assist, but for time, I'm going to fill out a form. I'm going to search my form for my OO, work on it Wednesday on site. So if I go on and I can't measure it on site, the only thing left is I'm going to go for a 2-inch mulch here. And I'm going to say I've got a 700 square foot bed and scroll down and hit submit. So all the other options are here. Lawn mowing minutes. I'm going to say this lawn's going to take us 22 minutes. Hit submit. And now we've got a live estimate we can pull up, complete with job costing, production rate based estimating. Whew. All right, we're going to templates. And we're going to pull up the work on it Wednesday template. Once this loads, and drive this in before I let you go, Dylan. But I think this is this is a record, man. 40 minutes and change, and we are we're knocking it out the park, brother. All right,
yeah,
templates.
Seems like you've done this once or twice before.
Well, it happens. Wow, look at this without testing. Lawn mowing based on turf square footage. We had $84 based on what was in my head. I said 35, but let's just say I said it was going to be 90 minutes. And we can compare the two, $84 a cut versus $74.84. Obviously, some of this was fictitious, but then we say, you know what? I trust that production rate based on the minutes to hours, so I'm going to go grab that, hit draft a quote. Mulch installation based on 2 inches, $500, 4 hours, put it in. $298.24 with labor, overhead recovery, and materials, draft a quote. And snow plowing per push per inch. Right in here as our package. Now the package settings, I'm not positive on this instance if it's going to present exactly the way we want, but it should. So I'm going to hit save and close, and I can email this out to myself real quickly before I wrap it up and hop on my next call. So easy as it can be. I hit email. We got a pre-templated email, estimate document, and acceptance email all loaded in and ready to rock and roll. Once this loads, we're going to fire it off. And in the meantime, I'm going to pull up my email. So we got a pre-templated email with a clickable link, some clickable buttons for in the mobile, and our lead letter, the 5 or 6 main reasons why our business is different. And down the home stretch here, Dylan, we've created an estimate literally stem to stern in about 2.5 minutes, too. So this is pretty impressive that we've actually brought this across the finish line. And let me grab my email here once this loads, and we'll pull this over and show you the estimate, and I will let you go, brother. But I think we did it. We did it under time. And we've got a full live estimate here within 2 to 3 minutes.
And this is how quick your estimates can be actually created in the future once you have all your pricing, carefully crafted.
Click to view my proposal. Yep. And here we go. Step 1, select your services. Select 2, estimate description and sign. Lawn mowing. Boom, $84 a cut. Mulch installation, add a 2-inch depth, $500, and per inch per push plowing. Unbelievable. And they can't not accept all of them. They got to accept them all. My brother. We got them from another mother. We go down. We got some videos of the kid talking about services, what's included, what's not included. And we're going down as your client, clicking, signing, printing. Boom. Work on it Wednesday. You ask the questions, we bring them live. Dylan and Mike from the SimpleGrowth team. We'll see you again next Wednesday. Dylan, my man, we need to get a timer and see if we can't beat this record.
I'll bring the timer next time.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks, brother.